you have been waiting to apply to Ontario for permanent residence, stay and watch the whole video because Ontario just reopened its doors, but not the way it used to be. I'm Jenny Gomes, a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and on June 26, 2026, Ontario officially launched the first 3 pathways of its completely rebuilt PNP stream. This is the biggest OINP change in years. For most of this year, Ontario's PR streams were essentially shut down. Back on May 30th, the province retired all 9 of its previous immigration streams with nothing to replace them. So if you've felt stuck and confused since then, that was real. Today, I'm going to break down exactly what's happened or what's back, who qualifies and what's still coming. So here's what happened. Ontario is rolling out its new program in 2 phases. Phase 1 is live right now. It's called the Ontario Workforce Priority Stream and it contains 3 pathways. 1, a tier 0 to 3 pathway for higher skilled occupations. 2, a tier 4 to 5 pathway for lower skill occupations. And 3, a dedicated pathway for self-employed physicians. Phase 2 is coming later with no confirmed date yet. It's expected to include a priority healthcare stream, an entrepreneur stream, and an exceptional talent stream. I'll touch on those at the end. Now, one critical point before we go further. These streams are technically in effect, but you cannot submit yet. Ontario is relaunching its expression of interest or EOI system, and they have said it's anticipated to open later in the summer. So right now, this is your preparation window. Use it. Let's start with tier 0 to 3 pathway. Your skill and professional occupations. To qualify, here's what you need. First, a job offer. It has to be full-time, permanent from an eligible Ontario employer in tier 0, 1, 2 or 3 occupation. Second, language. You will generally need a Canadian language benchmark, CLB6 or CLB5 for certain occupations in all 4 abilities in English or French. Or you qualify as a recent Ontario graduate. Then you must meet one of these 2 conditions. Either you're licensed to work in a regulated profession in Ontario or you meet both an education and work experience requirement. On education, that's a post-secondary degree or diploma from a program of at least 1 year. Full-time, a foreign credential is accepted as long as you have an ECA which is valid. On work experience, you have 2 ways to qualify. The occupational minimum, roughly 2 years of full experience in the past 5 years in the same or related occupation, or the job offer is a minimum of 6 months of consecutive full-time work in the past year with that same employer. And for recent Ontario grads, that drops to just 3 months. So if you're an Ontario graduate already working here on a permit, pay close attention because the rules are clearly built in your favor. Now, the pathway a lot of you have been waiting, which is the tier 4 to 5 pathway for lower skill occupations that previously had very limited options. The requirements here are as below. You will need a full-time permanent job offer from an eligible Ontario employer in a tier 4 or 5 occupation, and it has to pay at least the median wage for that occupation. The rules are different around graduates here in Ontario. At least 9 months of cumulative work experience in the past 2 years in the same occupation with the same employer. A secondary school diploma equivalent and CLB4 in English or French in all 4 abilities. Notice the pattern. This pathway rewards people who are already here and already working for an Ontario employer. This is not a stream you enter from overseas with no Canadian experience. So if that's you and you are already employed in Ontario, this could be your route. The third pathway is for self-employed physicians. You need to be licensed and in good standing as a physician in Ontario with a valid certificate of registration, and you need to be eligible to bill through OHIP, Ontario's health insurance plan. That's it. Now, a part people overlook. For the 2 job offer pathways, your employer also has to qualify. Your employer must have a place of business in Ontario and have been operating for at least 3 years, meet a minimum revenue threshold, and this varies by location. It's $1 million in GTA, 500,000 in major census areas, and 250,000 outside those regions. Meet a minimum headcount of Canadian citizens or permanent residents, 5 employees in the GTA and 3 outside it, and have a clean record under Ontario's labor laws. So before you celebrate a job offer, confirm your employer actually meets these. This is where I see applications fall apart. Let me tie the process together because it's different now. This is employer driven and EOI based. Once the system reopens, you create a new EOI profile in Ontario's online system. Your employer initiates their side, submitting the job offer through the employer portal. Good news is if they are already registered, they don't have to re-register. Ontario then selects candidates from the EOI pool and sends invitations to apply. You submit a full application, get nominated, and then apply to IRCC for permanent residence. And if you already applied under the old systems or the old stream, before they closed, don't panic. Those applications will continue to be processed under the rules that were in place when you had submitted it. Now quickly, phase 2. Still no date, but expect a priority healthcare stream that won't require probably a job offer, an entrepreneur stream for business owners, and an exceptional talent stream for people with standout achievements in science, in arts or academia. I'll cover each in detail when they launch. So here's my advice. This summer is your prep window. Get your language test booked, your ECA in motion, and confirm your employer qualifies before the EOI system opens so you are ready on day 1. Every case is different, and this is general information, not legal advice. If you want us to assess your profile or your situation, reach out. I'll be providing the details in the video. If this helps, subscribe so you can catch my phase 2 breakdown of the moment it drops. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.